Hey friends, welcome to my channel, That's Writing Homeschooled. My name is Mrs. T. Today we're going to be talking all about learning a secondary or maybe even third language in your homeschool. And we're going to talk about a really fun, enriching way that you can bring your language study to life. So whether you have a learner in your homeschool who has a language curriculum, but you're looking to maybe engage them a little bit more or supplement, or perhaps you have, on the flip side, a learner who doesn't have a curriculum, but you want to start exposing them to another language. Either case, there's a really fun concept that you can easily implement, and that's going to be the concept of song studies. So we're going to talk about what a song study is. I'm going to walk you through how you can create for free your own song study. And I'm also going to share with you, if you happen to be interested in French, I created my own song study that we've used here in my home with my kids as they ranged in age from preschool to first grade. And I want to share with you our song study playlist and the resources that I use to help guide me through the song study. So first of all, what is a song study? Let's just take a look at science before we talk about languages. Songs are oftentimes used to assist with students in learning new things, whether it be learning the oceans and the continent names, or the capitals or the state names, or from a math perspective, your addition or your multiplication facts. There are so many things that you can learn through song. There's just so much that your brain latches on through song. It's the repetition, it's the catchy beat. There's something about song that helps you learn, and it's no different with language. Think about when you were a kid or when your babies were babies, right? You would expose them to very basic nursery rhymes and they're able to pick up vocabulary and pronunciation. They're able to understand things that maybe concepts that, I don't know, was out of your wheelhouse, right? Maybe you don't talk about buses all the time, but by singing Wheels on the Bus, your children picked up the vocabulary and understood the basics of a bus, right? So it's no different than that. So the idea is there are two different types of songs that you can pull into your homeschool to supplement language learning. You can pull in songs that are from the targeted region, and you can pull in what are called localized songs. So we're going to start with the benefits of the first one. So these are going to be things that, we'll say we're in France, right? These are going to be things that the French adults are singing to French children when they're itty bitty little babies. And these are going to be a wide variety of different kinds of songs, but these are going to not be things that we typically hear in the United States. Or if you do, you might hear their version in, let's say, French, or you might hear a localized version of that that's here in the United States, but the origin is the target region. The benefit of pulling in those songs into your song study is that you are going to get exposure to culturally significant songs. Again, obviously nursery rhymes, but to that region. It's kind of like when you're out here in the United States and someone says, twinkle, twinkle, little star, you know immediately what the heck they're talking about, right? You're not looking up and be like, where's the twinkly star, right? So this is something that is culturally significant to us, even if it starts at a basic level. The second type of song are going to be localized songs. These are going to be songs from maybe a different region, such as the United States, that are translated, so put into another language. But a lot of them are also localized. So that means that they're not word for word translations. They are going to be slightly modified to fit the target region of, let's say, France. So for our song study, I really recommend pulling in both kind. Now for our French song study that we did, we had our localized version was actually the one that we first and foremost prioritized and focused on with pulling in vocabulary. So I'll talk about how we did that. And the reason I did that is I tried to get songs that my child had some familiarity with. For example, Ba Ba Black Sheep was a perfect one that we did. This is one that they are very familiar with that song in English. So when we pulled it in French, their mind was automatically able to jump to conclusions and make connections to the song because they were already familiar with this song in English. So we did have some localized songs that we were doing. The second kind, or I guess first kind, I'm getting this mixed up, but the target region nursery rhymes, we also pulled those in, but our first year of song study, we did not drill in on those. However, by the end of our whole song study, my children had memorized a lot of both localized and native region specific nursery rhymes, which was really cool. Okay, so that's the concept of the songs. All right, so now that we know the kind of songs that you can pull in and what a song study is, let's talk about how you can do it. Now, this is going to take a little bit of effort on your side, but it is free and it's an easy way, like I said, to enrich your language learning experience. Now, for the sake of this conversation, I obviously can't explain it in the way that will be your exact situation, whether it be the language you're looking for or your level as a teacher or your child's level. So I'm going to keep it really simple, and let's pretend that you know nothing of the language, so you don't know how to start or where to start. So I'm going to start with walking you through as a complete newbie. Okay, so the very first thing that I would recommend doing is pulling up Google Translate. Have English be the language you're searching in, and your target language be the language you want to expose your child to. And for this example, we'll do French. So in your English section, you're going to type French, and it's going to tell you what the translation for that is going to be, français. Copy that, head over to YouTube, and then search for Cocomelon français. You see, Cocomelon has an incredible international department where they have a lot of channels for a lot of languages, from Spanish, I think Italian, German, Arabic, and so many more. So if you do that little combination, you might strike gold and be able to find a Cocomelon site. Now, if you do, bookmark it, subscribe to their channel, because that is going to be a gold mine of experience. Now, the next thing I want you to do is pop back over to Google Translate, and now delete out your language and search for the text nursery rhyme. So you'll type in nursery rhyme and you'll copy that translation, and I want you to now search for that in YouTube. By doing that, you will find native songs, those region-specific songs that are in that target language. So those are the two searches that I would recommend first off, okay? Next thing, go ahead and get an empty Google Sheet or Excel spreadsheet, something like that, numbers, whatever platform you prefer. And I want you to create a couple of columns. Column number 1 is going to be your week column. I highly recommend focusing on one main song for the duration of 2 weeks. The idea here is you are going to pick a song that your child is going to listen to once a day, every single school day for 2 weeks. So that's 10 days as a general rule of thumb. So column 1 will be weeks, and you'll do 1 and 2, 3 and 4, so on and so forth for however long your school year is. The next column, I would recommend doing your primary song. And this is where you're gonna have to choose what you wanna do. Me personally, in this first year of French, I found it was really helpful to start our primary song be Cocomelon. So we went through the Cocomelon playlist and I found really basic songs. So I found things about greetings, I found songs about colors, counting, the alphabet, foods, body parts, really, really simple. And I picked a number of those. Now, some of those songs I thought we could do in the duration of like 1 week versus 2, but for simplicity's sake, I would say grab about 18 songs that are calling out to you. And you want these to be songs that are really basic. Think again, Baba Black Sheep, Old MacDonald Had a Farm, Cocomelon has one that's all about vegetables, like I like to eat carrots, things like that. You want very, very basic. And put them in a general list and save the link to the songs. And then in the next column, this is where you're going to choose between 5 and 10 vocabulary words that are from the song. Now this can be a little bit tricky, especially if you do not know the target language. So here is what I recommend. On your phone, I would recommend downloading the Google Translate app, because this will have actually a photo feature where you are able to have your phone up and take a picture of something in a target language and have it be auto-translated on a screen. Now, it's not going to be perfect necessarily, but the thing is because you're doing really basic nursery rhymes, it doesn't mess up things like numbers 1 to 10, right? So mostly, I would say Google Translate for these early songs is relatively accurate. It will not be accurate if you're doing the same thing for, like, we'll say grown-up songs or things that are more complex. But for these early nursery rhymes, they tend to be pretty accurate. So what you can do now is, now I want you to have the Cocomelon song, and I want you first and foremost to listen to it. Listen to it once. Get an idea of what is out there. Look at the words and see how much you are able to retain. And you're going to focus on what vocabulary and words you want to pull out. So maybe you are listening to, again, we'll say Baba Black Sheep, and you hear them say mouton rouge or mouton noir. And you know that that word mouton is something that you want to focus on because they say it an awful lot. So what you're going to do now is you are going to extract from the song vocabulary that you are going to introduce. And you really only want 1 or 2 words or phrases every day. So you want to do it in bite size. Now, by the end of the 2 weeks, the goal is not for your child to have the song totally memorized, though you will notice that your child will be singing along with the majority of the song. But you want them to understand about 75% of the song by the end. So you really want to pull out these key terminology and these key terms, and you're going to put it in your Google Sheet. And again, between 5 and 10, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Then for your own sake, if you don't speak the language, I highly recommend getting that translation, which again, you can do that with your phone. Have that Google Translate, have it focused on a still of the screen, and it will do that translation. Then you can type it out. Easy peasy. Now, if your language has accent marks, I highly recommend, I will put in the description, there is if you don't know the shortcuts on your keys, make sure you include the accent marks in your list so that way you have an accurate list of terminology. But I would recommend, if you don't know how to do those shortcuts, I'll put in the description a really easy website where you can actually just copy all accent variations. So that's a really fun one. Sorry, I'm back. I had to pause because my kids are watching TV right now and the show was done. So anyway, I don't really remember. Oh, so get your translation. So you want to have a column that has your target language, the vocabulary that will help them by the end of their 2-week study retain about and understand about 75% of the song, and you'll have the corresponding translations if you need that. And that's going to all be with one song. Then what I did is I picked a secondary song to have as a focus. Now this song, you're not going to pull in a lot of vocabulary, but what I would recommend doing is also every single day for the duration of 4 weeks, expose your child to another song that's from the target region. So for me, I was able to find a YouTube channel that had a large variety of nursery rhymes that also included the lyrics to those nursery rhymes inside. And the goal for this one is additional exposure. So for us, the way that we do it when we do our song study is we start with the Cocomelon one, we introduce the vocabulary, and we only listen to it once, and then we hop into the target one. And we don't talk about additional things, but I do sometimes ask questions like, what do you think this song is about? And we have a little bit of conversation about it. But over the course of the 2 and the 4 weeks, your kids are going to pick up a lot. Now, if you're listening to your secondary song that doesn't have that vocabulary focus and your kids are asking what it means, take this time together to learn it. Again, you can use that Google Translate feature where you can take a picture. You can also, because they're traditional songs, you can also just Google that again for your lyrics, but learn what it is. Use that Google Translate. Use Wikipedia as a really good one, especially for traditional nursery rhymes, because there are often translated in English wiki pages about the nursery rhyme and the history and where it came from. So learn about the song and spark conversation. So start asking them what they think based on the video. Now you'll notice that I'm talking about videos, and I definitely recommend videos for song studies, especially with younger learners, just because our brains are able to put so much together and jump to conclusions with a visual representation as well. But I highly recommend a third portion of song studies is to just simply expose your child to music. And if you start to notice that they are repeating or requesting or singing along or humming along to specific songs that you pull in from like Spotify or iTunes or whatever it is. Apple Music? I actually don't know what it's called. I don't have an Apple. Whatever it is. If you start to notice that they have an interest in a particular song, take note of it and add it to a future song study so then they can start understanding what they are singing. All right, now if you are interested in using the French song study that I created for a full school year, hooray, hooray. Comment down below, let me know that you're grabbing it because I'm so curious how many people are pulling from that. If there's a lot, I will actually do it for a second year as well. But there are going to be a couple of things that you want to keep note of. In the description of this video is going to be a Google Sheet, which is going to lead you to the resources that I have. Additionally, I've created a French songs playlist year 1 here on my channel, and I will also link to that playlist in this description. And I might even add this video to that playlist as well. So that way you have all the songs in one easy to access location. I don't think in the playlist they load by default in the order that I added them. I'm really not sure how that works. I think it's based on when those songs were created. So make sure you get that Google Sheet, make a copy of it, and go in the order that I put. I actually scaffolded those languages or those songs, and I put them in a very specific order, and they worked really well in our home. So anyway, that is it, you guys. Comment down below. Let me know if this is helpful. I hope it is. If you need help and you're not sure where to start and you are hoping for some assistance for your specific situation, also comment down below. Tell me what your level is, your child's level, and whether or not they have another curriculum. Additionally, tell me what your target language is, and I'm going to help you create a song study. So, good luck, you guys. I hope it goes well, and I will talk to you soon. And if you happen to be here, please hit that subscribe button. I will be happy to share more information about French and learning languages in our home. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day. Bye-bye.